Welcome back, guys. Happy Sunday. Today I was supposed to take my shovelhead to a Cars and Coffee, but the weather said no, stay your ass home. It's been raining pretty often here in California, which is good, you know. Our lakes are getting filled, but it sucks because we can't do a lot of riding. So for today's video, I'm gonna give you guys an updated garage tour and also tell you guys stories of how lane split came to be. Let's go. All right, let me take you guys back to 2013. It was my last year at SFSU, and I just bought my first cruiser, a Honda Rebel 250. I was living in SF at the time, and getting around in the car wasn't ideal. Finding parking was a constant struggle, so I bought a bike to make my life easier. One of my favorite moments with the Honda Rebel was actually the first day of owning it. I bought it in Richmond, California, and to get back to SF, I had to ride over the Bay Bridge. Even though the bike was slow as hell, the view of SF on the Bay Bridge was stunning. I just remember screaming from the top of my lungs. America, fuck yeah! It was one of those moments in my life that I will never forget. If you have never rode to SF on the Bay Bridge and have the chance to, I highly recommend it. Driving won't be the same. I didn't have a garage or tools in SF, so every weekend I ride back home to San Jose to work on it. This was my first cruiser, so the whole bobber and chopper thing was completely new to me. I did all the basic mods like changing the bars, lights, making a custom seat out of a skateboard, chopping the pipes to make it louder, etc. At the time, I rode solo. I didn't meet any of the guys yet. One of my high school friends, Dewey, asked me to teach him how to ride. And one day he said,
"Hey, I know a small group of guys that are into bikes like yours. Want me to add you to their Facebook group?"
"Fuck yeah, dog, add me." And that was the start of it. That was how I met Young, John, and Dat. Riding solo is fun and all, but when you find a group of friends that are into the same shit as you, it's a whole different level of excitement. Those days were like the honeymoon days. We rode often, after work, after school, all the time. We also broke down a lot. It was the peak of bopper breakdown. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, but we had a lot of fun. Our group at the time didn't have an official name. We loosely called ourselves San Jose Bobbers, made a few hoodies with it, and that's about it. I knew what we had was special, so we needed an official name. I wanted something unique and had to have a story with it. Lane splitting at the time was only legal in the state of California.
We see motorcycles lane split often, so I know it's illegal in some states, but what about here in California?
In California, it is legal.
If you don't know what lane splitting is, it's pretty much riding between lanes in traffic. So when you hear of the word lane split, you would know that we're from California. Lane split itself is too short to be an official name. I knew I needed to add a second part. Growing up, I didn't have a garage, so every time I needed to wrench, I have to do it on the sidewalk or the street. So I wanted the second part to have something to do with the street, like avenue, drive, or boulevard. You probably heard of the famous Sunset Boulevard in LA. I want our own version of that, and boulevard has a nice sound to it, so it was added to lane split. So now we have Lane Split Boulevard. Done? Not quite. Next, I chopped off all the vowels and combined lane split and boulevard into one word. The idea behind removing the vowels comes from our bikes. We remove all the unnecessary parts and it still works. So now with the vowels removed, I know it's really hard to pronounce Lane Split Boulevard. So the whole idea is, if you know, then you know. Just like the style of our bikes, it's not for everyone. Another fun reason why I chose to remove the vowels is because of a TV show. When I was younger, my family and I would sit together and watch Wheel of Fortune. And in that show, you would need to buy a vowel.
I like to buy a vowel.
Okay.
E.
So for me, as a broke college student, I couldn't afford any fancy vowels. So Lane Split Boulevard couldn't afford vowels. A good way to remember our young broke days. So yeah, that's pretty much how I came up with Lane Split Boulevard. If you'd like to hear more stories like this, let me know. Next, I'm going to show you guys the updated garage tour. My wife and I got the keys to this house after EDR in 2021 in May. It looked nothing like this. It was empty. It was kind of nasty, dirty. So first thing I did was epoxy the garage, and then painted the ceiling a dark color. I knew I wanted to deck out my garage because, you know, like I said, growing up, I didn't have a garage. So when I do have a garage, I want to, you know, make it my own. Over here, we have my art wall. If you guys go back to last year's videos, then you guys will notice this wall was pretty much empty. There's still space for me to add more art. Also on this side as well. I bought this case right here to collect Zippos and other cool stuff that I find when I travel. This is art that was sent to me by a subscriber. And everything else I found, I swap meet or shows, you know. Over here, I built this shelf so I can put more stuff. And then this cabinet actually got from Craigslist for $15. It was super nasty. I just cleaned it up and put, you know, carpet in it. I love the color. A lot of stickers. And then that sign right there was actually a gift from my wife. She got it made for my birthday back in 2013. It went through 4 different garages already. First one was a mom garage, Elk Grove, the single garage, and then now here. That one was also a gift from Canada, Mancraft Canada. And then I got that KFC sign from a swap meet as well. And over here is my helmet collection. This one is the TT & Co. This one and this one. I'm not sure what brand this is. I got this from Young. And these are the Builtwell helmets. This is my first helmet ever. Not sure what brand either. And Builtwell, and that one is Tall's helmet. Got some beer sign that I got from Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. And over here is my first Model A that I bought back in Elk Grove. I got it for a good deal. I owned it for about a year. Bought it for $12,000 and then sold it for $15,500. So I made money. And then these are just a couple artwork that I found throughout the year. This is one of my favorite photos ever. It was actually Born Free 2019. My wife and I were on the way back to our Airbnb and then on the freeway. And then a photographer saw us and snapped a photo. And then he found me on Instagram and sent me over this photo. Pretty cool. This one is our first ever camping trip. This was when we had all Hondas except for one Harley. And now we all have Harleys and very few Hondas. These are my shadows that I built. First one is Rusty, Dusty, and Crusty. Over here is when I went to Mexico for EDR with my Sportster, my SR 500. And over here is the breakdown that inspired the roadside assistant merch. And over here, I made a sign, you know, get shit done. That's the model for this garage. And over here is the evolution of the shovel head. When I first got it, different stages. It's a little messy right here. But yeah, this is my shovel. Same one since 2016. Oh, here's the monkey. I love this bike. And I actually thought up a name for this bike right for the Evo. I'm gonna call it Porky because of the Pig tail light right there. And also I wanted to keep kind of like Animal Planet theme, you know. This one I named it the Grizzly, which is a bear. This one is a monkey. So I'm just gonna call this one Porky, you know. Animal Planet, lane split version. And over here is my welder. It's a Miller 211. I bought it back in Elk Grove as well. Brand new for $1,200 at a time. Best welder ever. I built so many bikes with this welder. This is definitely the best investment I've ever done. I'm sure you can get it for a lot cheaper now. I think the new version is a little bit smaller too. This one a little bit big. But yeah, love this welder. A couple more tools. And then I added plates on that side. There's still a lot of space to add more stuff. And then this gas tank right here, I bought it from a swap meet for 125 bucks. Pretty much $1 per cc. Such a cool gas tank. A little picky too. Then I got my, you know, books and magazine corner to get inspired. My mini fridge. Always gotta have a fridge in the garage. This is my daughter's truck, you know. She's licensed, you know. She's not riding dirty. And over here is my pride and joy, pretty much. My 1972 Datsun 240Z. This is actually my second Z. My first Z was a 1974 260Z. I bought that one for really cheap. And I flipped it for a great price. I bought the other one for like $800, $1,200, something like that. And then I got it to start and I sold it for $4,000. And after that, I put the $4,000 into this one. I didn't want to keep the other one because no matter what I do to it, it's still going to be a 260Z. It will never be a 240. So I sold that one, made some money, and got a real 240. When I got this car, it didn't look like this at all. It had a weird body kit to it. Very 80s style, super ugly. Different wheels. These are my favorite wheels ever for the Z. These are the Watts. Then I got a new air dam, new bumper, rear bumper. And let me open the hood for you guys. I have suspension for it already. It's in the trunk. I just gotta find time to install it. So I replaced the steering wheel. The old one was the wooden one, which is a little bit bigger. And then changed the ship knob. Everything else is pretty much the same. Let me pop the hood for you guys. This is the engine bay. The car came with SU carbs. I took that out and replaced with triples. These are the OERs. They're pretty much Japanese version of Webers. So you can still run Weber jets. And I got a whole exhaust system, Fujitsu. And I got a new radiator. Replaced all the hoses. I got a lot planned for this car. Just haven't had time to, you know, work on it. My first priority is to finish that Evo and then give this car some love.